In Luke 6 and verse 27, Jesus gives the most incredible command: love your enemy. He then goes on to tell one of his best known stories, the parable of the Good Samaritan. A man gets beaten up and left for dead. The priest and Levite pass by on the other side, and the man's enemy, the Samaritan, stops to help. And then Jesus says, now go and do likewise. And I wonder whether he says go and do likewise because he realized that it was the Samaritan who learned something about God's kingdom that day, not just the man in need. Rick Warren, the American pastor and Chancellor of Spurgeon's College, puts it this way. He says, until we get up off our horse and get down in the dirt and meet the need of someone who can't help us back, not only will the person on the ground bleed out and not be who they were made to be, nor will the person on the horse. Let me say that again. Until we get up off our horse and get down into the dirt and meet the need of someone who cannot help us back, not only will the person on the ground bleed out and not be who they were made to be, nor will the person on the horse. 3 times a year until recently, I used to visit a friend of mine in prison in the sex offenders wing. It moved me every time. My friend came to Christ and handed himself into the police. His family wouldn't go near him. And it was always such a hassle. It was a cumbersome process. It took the whole day. But every time I left, like a broken record round my head, were those words of Jesus in Matthew 25. I was hungry and you fed me. I was naked and you clothed me. I was in prison and you visited. That which you did for the least, you actually did for me. Well, my friend died recently, right there in prison. Do you know, so much of what I spend my time doing, I don't think will be remembered in a year from now. But visiting my friend felt like it would be remembered in eternity. So if you're not sure who God is calling you to reach out to or to love, find the person who is most powerless, most rejected by society, most outcast, most undeserving, and start with them, because no one else will. Can you imagine if we all did that? I mean, can you actually imagine it? It would be frustrating and exhausting and thankless. We would be misunderstood, but it wouldn't be boring. It'd be a reason to get out of bed in the morning. And I think it would make God smile. But there's more. Jesus doesn't end with love your enemies. He then says something even more radical. Love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you. Don't wait till you've made up with someone before praying for them. One leads to the other. The antidote to holding a grudge is to pray for them. And that's tough. That takes a work of the Holy Spirit. But it's what sets us apart as Christians. Grace. Oh, we love to sing about God's grace for us, but what ought to set us apart as His followers is our grace, our unmerited kindness to others. If you're thinking, I could never love my enemy, then you're absolutely right. You've got it. But you do believe that God can love them, don't you? If so, then you're not far from believing that God can love them through you. On the cross, Jesus loved His enemies. Romans 5 verse 10, while we were God's enemies, Christ died for us. He even prayed for those who persecuted Him. As the nails were being banged into His wrists, what did He say? Father, forgive them. They know not what they do. That's our motivation. 1 John 4:19, we love because He first loved us. So may you so experience the love of Christ today that it overflows to those around you, even to your enemies. God bless you.